This scenario happened to me at work a few weeks ago, and it helped me better understand my anger now. And by now, if you've watched these videos, you know that I'm a dishwasher in the restaurant business. And I was doing my thing, and I was messing it up in there. I was getting it done. This was about 7 o'clock on a Sunday, Saturday, one of the two. And if you work or you go out to eat, you know that the weekend is going to be a lot busier than any other day of the week. And so one of the managers, homeboy's stressing a little bit. The checks are coming in a bit late. Maybe this happened. Maybe we were out of this and it made him mad. That's cool. I don't mind. But what I did mind, homie's over there and he's angry. He doesn't realize it, but he's projecting. All these other things that happened to him made him angry. That's dope. That's awesome. But what's not awesome is him not being able to channel that anger, recognize it, and now he's lashing out on others. So check this out. Instead of communicating to us, being like, hey guys, can we make sure we get to this today? Like, could we maybe prioritize this today? Like, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. Instead, it was correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna mess up the words here, but it was, oh yeah, we're gonna get this done, right? We're gonna make sure this gets done, right? And it's like, bro, I was chilling back here. I was doing my thing. I was cleaning these dishes. I got my AirPod in. I was having a good time. And then homie projected his anger onto me out of nowhere. And to be frank, I've had worse. This could have been worse. It could have been better, but it could have been worse. It wasn't the end of the world, but it still upset me. Because it's like, bro, don't ruin my day because you ruin yours, bro. Don't do that. So then I'm thinking about it. I'm ruminating on it. I'm aware that I'm upset. That's step one. I'm aware that I'm angry right now. I'm aware that I'm ruminating about it and I'm thinking about it. But then I caught this. Now that I'm teaching others about anger, now that this is my life, now that I'm constantly learning more, wanting to gain wisdom, and trying to understand myself better, I caught this. Check this out. So I'm ruminating about homie who can't control his emotions, right? And I'm having negative, angry thoughts, right? That's cool. That's dope. But then I caught myself. There's a scenario at home, whatever. I was anticipating going home, imagining this scenario outside of work that was going to make me upset. Oh, I'm going to go home and I'm going to have to deal with this. And it's going to make me upset. Because I was in the negative state, because I was already angry, these other things that make me angry, they just fly right in. They just go right to my brain. And if it weren't for being self-aware, if it weren't for me wanting to teach others about my anger, about my story, about my journey, maybe I would have caught that. Maybe I didn't. But I did. And I was like, this is crazy. There's no way I caught this. There's no way I'm doing this. This event that happened at work, it made me angry. That's dope. That's cool. But because I was still in the negative state, other events that happened to me, around me, in the past, in the present, in the future, whatever, since I'm in the negative state, they come right to me. I start thinking about them. And this is what I used to do in the past. This is what I did my whole last relationship. That's why my relationship ended. I had one little thought. One little thing made me upset. Maybe, this is the best part, maybe I wasn't even initially upset. But I had one of these thoughts. I thought about, oh, I'm going to go home, I'm going to have to deal with that. Boom, I'm angry. And back then, I wasn't self-aware. So you know what happened? I thought about this thing at home. Oh, remember 2 years ago, that person who said this to me, and I wish I said this, but I didn't? Oh, now I'm upset about this. Oh, I know where I'm going to go home and talk to my girlfriend. Oh, she's going to say this, it's going to make me upset. Oh, I'm angry. Oh, homeboy in the dish room, he said this to me, it made me angry. Oh, this happened at work, it made me angry. Oh, if somebody said this the wrong way to me, oh, it made me angry. It's building and building and building and building and building. And it's only getting worse. But do you know why this started? Let's go back a minute ago. I had two things. I had one negative thought, and I had no self-awareness. Mix that together, you got rumination, you're about to explode because you're so angry. But for what? Just creating these events, these scenarios, this rumination from the past, or anticipating other events in the future. This rumination completely changed my mood. And I'm so grateful that I'm self-aware now. I'm so grateful that I caught this. Because it was fascinating to me. I could sort of put the pieces of the puzzle together and recognize... I'm sorry, I couldn't put the pieces of the puzzle together. But having this event happen to me live, happen to me live, and recognize, oh my gosh, bro, this event that made me angry, and I'm thinking about other events that make me angry, that's crazy. So now I can cut that off at the roots. When I'm angry, whatever happened to me, just thinking about it, being self-aware of it, but being angry, and then recognize when these other thoughts try to come in, these other things that make me angry, being able to recognize it. Oh, bro, this is a whole different event. This happened 2 years ago, and I'm getting angry. I'm letting this build my current anger. No. We cut that off at the roots. We cut that off at the root, bro. We don't do that. And this is why being self-aware is so important. Without being self-aware, I would not have figured that out. I would not be telling you this story right now. Oh, and might I add, 5 minutes later, I was fine. Because coming to that realization, that conclusion, did a lot. Like, coming to the conclusion that having other events make me angry that aren't even relevant to the current event, that was a whole mind blown. That was a whole thing of its own. Degraded my anger by like 80%. So now, 20%, bro, deep breathe for a second, I'm chilling. Like it never even happened. Without that event, I wouldn't have been angry. It would have taken me a bit longer, but that realization, it was really a hole. It was like, dang, bro, that's crazy. I just caught that. Self-awareness. You could have any problem, you can whatever. If you're not self-aware, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and be like, dang, bro, this is a problem. If you're hitting the vape and you can't look in the mirror and be like, dang, bro, this is a problem. I'm really sucking on this vape right now, bro. And I'm not bashing y'all. I used to vape too. And so I can sympathize. But like like break it down to the bare bones, bro. You don't even feel the buzz anymore. Like what am I doing? Yes, the withdrawal is gonna be hard, but there's no benefit right now. I'm wasting $20 a week, $20 every 2 weeks, whatever, to keep an addiction alive that actually has no net benefit. I'm not going to go on about that tangent because that could be a whole video of its own, but looking myself in the mirror and being like, dang, bro, I lost a whole relationship because of my anger. Why did this happen? I had to be self-aware. You have to train it like a muscle. Coming from me, coming from somebody who for 19 years, I thought my anger was so unique. I've never seen other people lash out like I do. How can other people not get angry the way I do? What is it? I'm different. I'm a unique specimen. You gotta be self-aware. Like anything. Like the gym. You gotta train it. Constantly train it. And I don't wanna come on here and preach something that I myself didn't do. Meditation is great because you're supposed to have thoughts. Your brain is supposed to be racing. You gotta deep breathe and you gotta notice your breath. And then you think about your homework and you come back to your breath. And then you think about your job, but then you come back to your breath. And meditation, I used to do it for like 5-10 minutes, not 10 minutes. I used to do it for 5 minutes. I know you're supposed to do it for 10. Again, I'm not going to sit here and preach something that I didn't do. I probably did it less than 10 times. But it helped me a little bit. Because there would be times where I'd almost get reminded. Like, I'd be having thoughts. And then it's like, oh, go back to my breath. Like, for no reason, I'd go back to my breath. Oh, I'm thinking about this. Oh, that's interesting how that works. Since I build the muscle of meditation, of focusing on, I was going to say inside, focusing on my thoughts. Oh, see that thought? Oh. Again, I'm not going to sit here and preach something I didn't do. I'm not going to tell you guys, oh, you got to meditate an hour a day, because I didn't do that. So I'm not going to tell you to do meditation. Yes, I did it. Did I do it enough? I didn't do it enough. But like a muscle in the gym, it can grow. Without meditation, I was still self-aware. I still built that habit. There's this audiobook on YouTube, and I say, oh, this is the best thing, this single-handedly. There's so many things. I couldn't tell you which one ranks where, but this single-handedly helped me with my anger the most. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know what, but there's an audiobook on YouTube, and it's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's Travis, like, Beer Belly or Travis Bradberry. Travis Bradberry. That's who it is. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. That's the author. And this is like a 4-hour long audiobook about emotional intelligence on YouTube. And from chapter 1, there's a few chapters. It was like chapter 1, and then there was 4 key things: self-awareness, relationship, these like 4 pillars, and then how to be self-aware. And there was like 17 skills for being self-aware, 15 skills for this, whatever. I know I did 2 of them all the way through. Anyway, I still have this Google document. This is like a 43 page long Google document. I literally sat there, YouTube, played the video at 50% speed, sometimes even 25, and as bro would talk, I would just type out these words. Like 80% of the audiobook is just in there in the Google document, because I was like, bro, I need this. Some irrelevant information like, oh, your neural pathways, oh, they grow. It's like a highway. I remember writing that down. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. In this book, it told me to be self-aware. It told me one of the tips that it said somewhere in this book, audiobook, is to constantly monitor your emotions, your feelings, the way you feel. It doesn't matter if you're angry, if you're sad, if you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're grieving, if you just got broken up with, constantly monitor the way that you feel. And don't just be like, oh, I think I'm angry right now. Monitor it. I'm angry right now. Where do I feel it? Do I feel it in my chest? Do I feel my heart racing a bit more? Are my palms sweaty? Am I shaking? Do I feel it in my head? Is my vision hazy? The more you do this, for any emotion that you have, like a muscle, it'll grow. I always talk about this relationship. This relationship ended in, it's so blurry, between February and April of 24. Let's be generous. Let's say March of 2024. From March of 2024 to September, constantly trying to figure out my emotions, trying to figure out this is the way I feel. And that's why I'm so good at it now. That's why 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I was able to catch myself. Oh my gosh, bro. This event at work that made me angry, I have other events that made me angry in the past. And they're trying to add themselves to it. They're trying to be like, hey bro, here's an angry thought too. Add it to the mix. Get more angry. And because, I don't know how long it was, for 6 months, I was constantly in my head, trying all these things. Constantly monitoring my emotions. Of course I'm self-aware now. Of course I found out, look at me noticing this event that made me upset at work. Look at me notice this other event. I'm ruminating on it. I'm adding it to this event. Because I studied it for so long. My favorite part of this, you may have forgot, I was in a relationship. The relationship ended because of this anger. So check this out. Not only am I trying to juggle this angry feeling, why am I angry? Where does this come from? I gotta juggle this breakup feeling. Better yet, we still work together. Because that's how we met, at work. So it's best of both worlds. And I really, God bless me, I don't want to bash her, bro. I'm so grateful that she happened. I could talk about spirituality, whatever, how she was put in my life for a reason, and that she was the lesson that I needed to learn, and now I get to do this. But sometimes I feel like she would do something, once we broke up, I feel like she would do something or say something to not ignite my anger, but to mess with me. So juggling these 3 things, being messed with, breakup, and anger, oh my goodness gracious me. I can't think of any stories off the top of my head, but she would only work weekends. So I needed like closure, like, are we still gonna be friends? And this was the best part. Check this out. If I wanted to say something like that, are we still friends? What, bro, it was a relationship. This was a high school relationship, bro. Do not bash me. Are we still friends? I would have to ruminate about this. I would be in my head for 7 days thinking about this. Are we still friends this? I'm angry that. We'll break up this. For 7 days. Check this out. We worked 2 different positions. Her position was, for lack of a better term, very busy. So every 7 days, better yet, sometimes she wouldn't even work. Sometimes the schedules wouldn't work out, so then it'd be every 14 days. Every 1 to 2 weeks. Maybe we could exchange one sentence. Hey, are we still friends? We might be. Okay, great. Now I got this information. Now let me ruminate for 7 to 14 more days. Let me figure out my anger. Let me figure out this relationship. Let me figure out, are we still friends? For weeks at a time. I'm so grateful that that's how it was. Because without this relationship, I would not be sitting in this car yelling at somebody who I need to speak to, yelling at my past self. I'm yelling at my past self, being like, bro, you gotta change. You gotta be self-aware. Without that relationship, I'm grateful that relationship was, once it ended, that it was as difficult as it was. I'm being authentic, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't, I don't know if this is the correct term, but want closure, bro. I forgot where I was going. I'm grateful that that relationship happened. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat this and act like I didn't want closure, act like it was all dolly do, act like we didn't work together, act like that was the most strenuous. The first 3 to 4 months were terrible, then after that I kind of tapered down, but those first initial 3 to 4 months, like March to August, that's what it was, March to August, that was terrible, bro. I would not put my worst enemy through that, bro. Because then I would see her at work, and something will happen, maybe something won't happen. Oh, I remember this. Check this out. I'd be at work. I'd be ruminating. I'd be listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast. Check this out. I would listen to the Diary of a CEO podcast. I started from the very beginning to, I think, episode 200, up until, I want to say, when he got to May of 2023. The last episode that I watched is when he did the sleep doctor, Matthew Walker. I believe that's who it was. I believe my Spotify Wrap said I had 25,000 hours of podcast. When he first started interviewing people, at the end of every talk, he would say relationships. Because he was successful. He didn't have time for a relationship. He would always say a relationship wouldn't be a priority. How does he balance a business, his life, and a relationship? So he would ask these other entrepreneurs, these other people, these other successful people, how do you balance a relationship? And I remember like it was 2 days ago, him saying the word relationship. Because at the end of every podcast, he would bring it up. And my heart sank. I was like, oh, bro. And I started thinking about my relationship that I lost. About the things that I gotta go through. About, are we still friends or not? I know most of us have been through a breakup, bro. That feeling you get when your heart sinks. Every time that this man would say the word relationship at the end of his podcast, I go like, oh, bro. Now I gotta ruminate. Now I gotta think about this, man. I'm being raw. I'm not gonna act like this wasn't the most strenuous. I can't think of other words, but not the worst. I've had so much worse. The most mentally exhausting 4 months of my life. Juggling all these things. Without this relationship, I wouldn't be self-aware. You got to build this muscle. Because you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be self-aware. You have to grow it. You have to want to grow it. You have to be like me. Listening to all these podcasts. Why am I angry? We're typing out this 3-hour or 6-hour, because I did it at 50%. 4 hours. This 4-hour audiobook. Typing it out at 50% speed because I needed to figure out my anger so bad. Figuring out, why am I the way that I am? Why aren't other people like me, bro? You need to want it so bad. You need to look around and be like, dang, I'm ruining relationships in my life because I don't understand my anger. I am losing people in my life because of my anger. People are scared of me because of my anger. It should not be like that, bro. I promise you it should not be like that. Because that was me. I know on the other side of the screen. If you made it this far, I know there is somebody on the other side of the screen who I'm speaking exactly to right now. Because that was me. I've been through it, bro. I was about to say I had it worse than a lot of people, but there is no way I've had it worse than a lot of people. Maybe I've had it tamer. Juggling those 3 things at the same time. This is why it's so important to be self-aware. Because I lost relationship because I wasn't self-aware enough to realize what tone was. Oh, that could be a whole video, man. I would always have the most condescending tone. Well, yeah, you always like to run that mouth. It's like, bro, you don't gotta do that. You don't have to say it like that, bro. I didn't know that. I wasn't self-aware. I'm grateful that I wasn't. I can go on and on about how I'm grateful for this relationship, because without it, I wouldn't be here. But you have to build self-awareness like a muscle. You have to constantly monitor your thoughts. With time, it'll get easier. It took me about 4 months. Every day I got better. Because I needed to. I knew my anger for 19 years was bad, but I had to lose a relationship to realize how bad it was. Because there was no other reason to end it. There was no other reason. The last 2 months, she wouldn't inherently do something that would make me angry. I would just twist it, change it, and then I get angry over it. And now she's angry. Or no, she's not. I'm angry, but now she's hurt. And then the next day rolls by, and the same thing happens. So then it just builds. She can't heal. I can't change. So she's gone. And that's okay. The amount of conversations that we had that were constantly like the same thing over and over. Like we haven't already talked about it. But I didn't change. I wasn't self-aware. I didn't want it that bad. I can't just cut the branch off the tree and be like, oh, the tree's not gonna grow back. Bro. That tree's still there, bro. Like, you have to want it so bad. You need to change. Look at your life, bro. Are you losing relationships? Better yet, are people scared of you? That should be the biggest indicator in itself. I don't know if people directly will say it to your face, but switch the roles. Switch the roles. If somebody did that to you, would you be scared? If the answer is yes, you need to change today. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not Monday. Today. The first step is to be self-aware. Please forgive me if I get this wrong, but I believe it's Alcoholics Anonymous, whatever, the program to help alcoholics change to not be alcoholics anymore. What's the first step? The first step is they have to look in the mirror and be like, dang, I am an alcoholic. They have to be self-aware, realize the true magnitude of their problem, and be like, dang, bro, I'm an alcoholic. I need to change. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, dang, bro, I'm losing relationships. I'm losing people I love. People are scared of me because of my anger. Oh my goodness, do I need to change? It should not be like that. Coming from somebody who has been told that, bro, it should not be like that. It shouldn't. And I'm here to help you guys. If you have any questions, if you need any help, any clarity, and please correct me too if I got something wrong, if you don't agree with something I say, because I want to learn too. I know nothing about anger. Yes, I've conquered it. Yes, I'm self-aware enough to monitor my thoughts, monitor the way I feel. As bad as I want to react in a situation, being able to not react. But I know nothing. I know nothing about anger. I watched a YouTube video just last night, and I learned more. So we're here to better each other. I'm here to better you guys. You guys are here to better me. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for this platform. And I'm grateful that I get to impact at least one person's life. Thank y'all. I love y'all boys. Y'all take care.